What's up, YouTube? Doing another mock tonight. Jumping in with, this is not my mock, doing someone else's, so I can just worry about making picks and maybe talking about them a little bit. So, just hopped into the mock draft lobby. Looks like we're new Dynasty startup. 12 team, going 25 rounds. Love to see it. And looks like it's PPR, and we're going to be drafting with full tight end premium in mind. What's a little bit unique about this, and I'm kind of excited about it, is normally in my mocks, I do the start 10. So 2 RB, 3 wide receiver, 2 flex, super flex. In this particular mock, we're going 2 RB, 2 wide receiver, triple flex, plus super flex. So dropping a wide receiver, adding a flex. Usually in full PPR, you're going to want to make that a wide receiver anyway, but it does give you a little bit of flexibility. So I don't think it's going to matter too much if this were half PPR. And I'm actually in a couple of leagues where it is 3 flex. Half PPR definitely changes the landscape a little bit. So we're looking in here. Haven't seen Jefferson and Chase, 2 wide receivers, going in these first couple of picks. That is pretty interesting. Anyone who's seen me draft for sure knows I am on the Anthony Richardson bandwagon. Been taking him at the 107 at like the latest, and if I can get him to fall even more, fantastic. And again, between him and Burrow, it's a little bit close, but I do think Richardson has more upside. And Colts are getting steamed up as maybe grabbing a wide receiver. So pretty excited. 3 wide receivers in the first rounds. I don't know. I've been looking into CD a little bit, and while I love CD's situation, he had such a ridiculous target share. It's hard for me to see him continuing with that sort of a target share. I'm not saying I'm fading Lamb. I'm just saying I'm calming on him a little bit. We're back on the clock here. So Caleb Williams is still here. We like him quite a bit. We also really like Jahmyr Gibbs here. So I think it's close. I have been favoring... I typically favor quarterback. However, like in the past couple of mocks, when it falls to a good situation, I don't like drafting a lot of running backs in general. There's just so many that are off my board. All of the middle-aged 25 to 27-year-old guys, I just don't want to draft them. And because of that, when I'm in a situation where I can take Gibbs at a good spot, I usually do. If I wasn't taking Gibbs, I would definitely be going with Caleb Williams there. I think the idea with Caleb Williams is even if he is not as good as we think, he's got so much talent around him. Rookie quarterbacks just never walk into that type of situation. So we'll see. Interesting, says, at least roast the Brees and Gibbs people. I don't know about that. I mean, I guess you could be saying why take Gibbs here when people like Garrett Wilson and Puka Nacua are still on the board and things of that nature. And I'm with you for the most part, but specifically in a 2 wide receiver league too, you're not forced to. I've been liking the way my drafts feel, where I go hero RB with Brees, Bijan, or Gibbs, and then I'm going to go really wide receiver heavy, particularly in rounds. In this case, rounds 4 through 7 for the most part. We're about to be back on the clock here. This feels a little bit late for Trevor Lawrence, who I definitely don't hate here. Also looking at Malik Neighbors. So for quarterbacks, so Neighbors goes. That's a little bit of a snipe. I think Trevor is nice here. I also quite like Jaden Daniels. I'm just really into the rushing upside I can get here. I don't love the wide receivers here. I mean, it's a little early for me. I think I'm going to go with the super spicy play, and I'm going to go Jaden Daniels. I don't hate Trevor. I think Trevor's perfectly fine. He's young, got forever for the runway, but I don't know. We're gonna get spicy, and we're gonna take Jaden here. I'm liking the. Who was I listening to that said it best the other day? And I really buy this logic where Jaden did what you would expect, put up very good numbers with a decent supporting cast, right? And then goes to the SEC, great competition, playing with a ridiculously all-star, just studs everywhere, and he puts up the cartoon numbers.
Come on!
Right? Where I get nervous is if somebody doesn't put up ridiculous cartoon numbers and they're loaded. I think specifically that term cartoon numbers, I like that. And I'm starting to get a little bit higher on the overall upside of Jaden Daniels. In one quarterback dynasty leagues, Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels are closer for me than I think most people are giving him credit for. This could be sneaky. If Jaden really comes out, like, he might not be that different than Anthony Richardson going 2 rounds earlier. It's just a risk factor. So we'll see. It's mocking, right? So we're gonna take the spicy pick. What else happens? Kyron, JT. Finally, Trevor goes. He's got to be loving the Hurts, A.J. Brown stack, then grabbing Trevor. Pretty nasty there. Gotta love that start. Also, gotta love getting Mahomes' third pick and then getting Puka, Waddle. DJ Moore, I think that's a tough pick for me there. I think DJ Moore I'm starting to fade just a little bit. What would we like to see here, by the way? I wouldn't mind if Tua falls. I think I'm a little bit higher on Tua than consensus. Not taking the running backs here at all. Wouldn't even really consider it. Hawkinson, Bowers. It wouldn't be Hawkinson. It would be Bowers if I were to take one. And I am considering taking one. And I quite like Rome Dunes. There is an argument to just take Tua and then be done at QB for the most part. And I think I'm actually going to do that. 2 in the 4th round is just a little bit late for me. I think he's being undervalued a little bit. And I think quarterbacks just hold their market value insane compared to what I think is left on the board. I mean, certainly over the running backs. On the wheel, would really love to be able to grab a Bowers, or I would be very, very psyched for Rome to come back. Was kind of hoping with Tua that it might force people to take Drake May and maybe Deshaun Watson or a Goff. That would feel really good if a couple of those guys come off, knowing that there's, through 4 rounds, these guys are clearly going later round quarterback. But we'll see. Now, between Rome, too early for running backs for me. Okay, he gets auto-picked for... Oh, no, I think he actually picks Drake May. So it feels good, grabbing Tua and then having Drake May go later. I like Tank Dell. I like Michael Pittman, but I like Rome a little bit better. Where am I at between Rome and Bowers? Pretty close. It's honestly pretty close for me. In 3 wide receiver, I think I probably go Rome. In full tight end premium 2 wide receiver, where this is a triple flex league. So again, I can actually, in full tight end premium triple flex, there's an argument to go bully tight end when you can, and just make sure you don't get boxed out, because having heavy tight ends, you can end up with some seriously powerful flex plays. So it'll be close between Rome and Bowers, I think. Of course, 2 picks before. We'll see what happens. I doubt they both go. Worst case scenario, if they both went, we would probably take Hawkinson. And there goes Bowers. Nice pick. So Hawkinson is kind of, I like him more than a lot of folks. This kind of ends a tier for me. I still think he's good. I still think he's young. It's just tough because I also think I am getting Rome at a pretty ridiculous discount as well. I just haven't seen it at the NFL level with Rome. This is insanely close. I'm going to go with Rome here. Even though I like Hawkinson a lot. I'm much higher in Hawkinson than other people. He definitely goes. There's no way he comes back to me, but I don't know. Close pick. Pretty close pick there. What also comes down for me too is later on there's a nice pocket of tight ends that I like later on. I like Jake Ferguson. I like Cole Kmet. I definitely like Michael Mayer. I think is getting buried a little unfairly. I think Freiermuth is one I'm definitely rising on. I think Musgrave is getting slept on a little bit. I like Tucker Kraft, so I'm just going to say a little bit. Dalton Schultz is quite nice. And then don't forget that even like super late, there's some the rookie tight ends are looking like they're cheap for full tight end premium for what I see. So guys that we'd like to come back again. We hate this. I mean we're late 6th here, so if Cook or Pacheco comes back, that's interesting to me. Not really loving the quarterbacks here. The wide receiver, Addison and Pickens, and probably Jaden Reed. Minor consideration to Brian Thomas Jr. I'm a little bit lower on him than consensus. I would slightly prefer Pickens and Addison. By a little bit. But we're not too far off from where I like to take the rookies. So looking at the overall board here, probably just going with Addison and then hoping to wheel one of the other wide receivers that I like. Also worth mentioning, I would be very okay if James Cook came back. He's definitely in consideration for me as is. But we're going to go with Jordan Addison here. Yeah, I like the James Cook pick there. Again, part of our strategy, part of taking Gibbs at the 2-4 is to pretty much fade a lot of these close running back picks and pick up value in that particular way. At least I've liked that a lot better. I know I'm a big fan of draft best available player, solve roster construction issues through the trade market. Don't lose any value at all by doing things like that. Okay, so Pickens goes. I feel like that's a little early for Swift. I know some people are kind of on that train, but what are we looking at? We should probably queue up like our next tier of running back when it gets down to it. Really, Cook was kind of the last, and then I go way down the board. I actually don't mind taking a shot on Zamir White, but realistically, I'm much more on taking the Brooks, Benson, Corum, just kind of young core there. So Jaden Reed is quite nice here. It's between Jaden Reed and Brian Thomas Jr. If we knew landing spots, we'd be able to take Brian Thomas Jr. We just don't know where he's going to end up. But I do think we like Jaden Reed a little bit more. If we didn't know landing spots, we're going to go Jaden Reed. And it's just too early for this group of tight ends. I think it's worth noting. I don't think it's going to happen. But if I didn't have my quarterback solved right now, I think Bryce and J.J. McCarthy and Will Levis look really interesting. In this particular one where all three are left, if I'm in the 7th round and quarterbacks are going a little bit earlier, it doesn't happen. Okay, so there's the run. I think McCarthy there's really nice. See, like grabbing Tua at the 4-9 and then seeing that I could have gotten J.J. McCarthy in the 7th, right? That's where I kind of regret the Tua pick a little bit. And honestly, maybe McCarthy over Reed was a little bit smarter. If McCarthy hits, he's going to be more valuable. And, I think in this format, 12-team Superflex, there is a big argument to, and I've been liking it more, but I'm just drafting 4 quarterbacks. And I know I'm going to be able to get, like, if JJ's decent by the middle of the season, who am I getting more for in a trade? Jaden Reed or JJ McCarthy? Like, I'm clearly getting more for JJ McCarthy. So I'm not going to call it a mistake, but it is worth considering, right? Because he's definitely got some risk where I don't think Jaden Reed has nearly enough risk. I definitely saw the eye test. Crazy, though, that Will Levis is still on the board in the 8th round, a guy I'm rising on, an offense I'm rising on, and I think they add another weapon in the draft. We're going to just take a quick peek. Definitely nothing in consideration there. Brian Thomas Jr. is still here. I think we're gonna capitalize here and just take Will Levis. Good chance Brian Thomas Jr. is not available, but I think this puts these guys into a tough situation. One quarterback. We've got an auto pick here. Yeah, I mean, I think Brian Thomas is fine, but I like that I'm set at quarterback because I'm just not drafting any of the later guys. I think Bo Nix, Michael Penix are interesting. You know, maybe there's a reasoning that they're going to be better than Levis, but I'm willing to take a flyer here on Levis. I would much rather take, I think, a McCarthy in the 7th and a Levis in the 8th if I can. But I think there's a little bit of a tear break after Jaden Reed for me. So let's see where we're at. Just looking at some ADPs. So this is a fine range, 9th round, fine range for Jake Ferguson. I like him quite a bit here. I think he's fairly underrated. Also, I think Christian Watson. I'm probably the highest I know on Christian Watson, but I'm not taking 2. We're gonna grab Ferguson here with our first tight end. I don't think they make it back to me. But it is interesting, if we already had tight end kind of solved, this is where I like to really go with start all the rookie fever. So I really like, this is where I'm looking at the Texas Twins. I'm looking at Franklin, McConkey, and then specifically the running backs. I think Braylon Allen I'm rising on a little bit. Jalen Wright I'm rising on a little bit. Just a lot of these rookies I'm really, really into. So who goes? Deontay, I like. He's just getting. I mean, between him and the rookies, I'd rather take the rookies, right? Same with Downs. Drafting a guy like Brian Robinson or Zach Charbonnet above a guy like Xavier Worthy, Adonai Mitchell, I think that's a mistake. Jonathan Brooks goes. Good chance Trey Benson goes. Trey Benson didn't go. We're going to take him while we can. Like I said, normally late 9th, 10th, this is where these rookie running backs go. And it's usually because there's this tier of acceptable wide receiver that just kind of goes away. I got rookies sorted. But people are just not really on the upside of some other players over the rookies. I start taking the rookies as early as 9th. It's only in this full tight end premium that I think it flips things a little bit. I'm liking the value I'm getting now that Zorko has made a couple picks outside of BTJ. Wasn't super worried about it. Like the Michael Mayer pick there. I think that's really nice. This is close in that Pat Freiermuth is also a really high-end pick for me in full tight end premium, and I only have one tight end right now. I'm higher on him. I like him more in the rankings than where he's typically going. It's tough for me because I would be giving up on some fantastic rookies. But I can't afford to miss out on him. Anyone who's looking at tight end, I mean, he's the next one to go. I kind of need to take it here. We're gonna lose. We're gonna lose out on some players that we really like here. It's gonna hurt. I think a lot of great rookie wide receivers are gonna go. Probably, I think if we're just gonna let's go like rookies only. I'll just go flex. I think 80, Troy, Ladd, Corum at least. I think those 3 go, and I think there's maybe 1 or 2 more. So yeah, there's Franklin. There's Mitchell. Can Ladd make it back? No, Ladd goes. Unfortunate. Almost back on the clock. Who are we looking at if not looking at the rookies? Michael Wilson starts to become kind of interesting. I still think we're looking at the rookies here. I like Braylon Allen quite a bit. I think I need to go with Keon Coleman is still quite interesting. I know he had a bad combine. That's probably something I'm going to forgive a little bit, though. Um, yeah, we'll go Coleman here. I don't love the pick, to be honest. By the time the draft comes around, that might be a Braylon Allen for me. I'm just trying to play the ADP game a little bit since Braylon is a little bit lower in ADP. This is where I know they're buried in ADP, but I really, really like Ricky Pearsall, Malachi Corley. They've been going so late, I feel like I can wait a little bit. See what we're looking at. Roman Wilson, or the highest ranked tight end or wide receiver on the board. Jalen Polk, I think, is not getting the proper love. Probably not getting the proper love here. I'm considering just basically playing the ADP game with it. I am going to go. I'm going to go Braylon Allen. Hopefully, me taking Braylon Allen here signals people to kind of look at some other running backs, Jalen Wright, Marshawn Lloyd. I hope some running backs go. If all wide receivers go, and there's another running back on the way back, I'm not going to love that. Why am I kind of high on Braylon Allen compared to maybe a Jalen Wright, Marshawn Lloyd? It's not that I don't like those guys. I'm just kind of falling in love with just how young Braylon Allen is. And I think his upside, if he actually is a decent pass catcher, I mean, he kind of profiles as this big bruiser, 1 and 2 down back, right? But if he's not limited to that and can be more versatile, I think his ceiling is pretty. I don't want to say elite, but it's pretty nice. Okay, sweet. Now I don't think we're gonna play the ADP game. We're just gonna go get our guys at this point. We're gonna go get our Ricky Pearsall, who we really, really love, and is going far too late. We're gonna take a quick peek at the tight end position and see that Jatavian Sanders is still here, as well as Ben Sinnott. Gonna want to pick up at least one of those two. Who else is on the board? No, it's really those two that we like the most. Looking at the quarterback position, pretty done there, I think. Really nice value. Bo Nix in the 14th. Penix in the 13th, but Bo Nix, who usually is going higher in his landing spots. That is just fantastic value. McCarthy in the 7th. Bo Nix 14th. And then having Lamar Caleb too. That's really nice. There it goes. Like that a lot. So what are we looking at here? We're fine at tight end. We want to grab one of the rookies. If Jaden hits, we've got the best quarterback room here. Feeling fantastic about it. Here RB, and then a lot of young upside at wide receiver. We need more shots at wide receiver. We definitely don't have enough. In a start 2 wide receiver format, not as important, but it's still Dynasty. Looking at some of the non-rookies here, the rookies are just so good compared to what we've seen from some of these guys on the field already. I just don't want to bury. I don't mind guys like Wan'Dale. Just don't love them nearly as much as what we can be looking at with these rookies. This is pretty close. It's full tight end premium, so maybe there's a case for Jatavian Sanders. I'm going to take Roman Wilson. I think it's going a little bit late for him. I just think he should have gone off the board a little bit earlier. So, guys, we're looking at. We still like Jatavian. Is it Sinnott or Snot? I don't do enough. I don't watch enough actual college football to know the pronunciations. I do all the scouting, I do all the analytics, but I don't actually know how to pronounce all the names. So I'll have to find out. Jatavian Ghost. We know we're gonna have to take Ben Sinnott pretty soon here. I like the Jatavian pick. I think, yeah. I mean, in general, Troy Franklin was great there. Ladd was just an absolute snipe. If I can flip Coleman for Ladd, or I guess if I could remove Coleman and have Ladd, that's what I'm trying to say. That would be fantastic. That would make my draft in fantastic ways. But it is what it is. When you're drafted with sharps, that's going to happen. Let's look at what we like here. Take a quick peek at the rookies. Yeah, Tez Walker. Some of these running backs we like. We like Jalen McMillan a little bit too. Javon Baker's getting buried for no reason. Johnny Wilson's got some upside here. We like what Dylan Laub can do as well. Spencer Rattler goes. We're going to take our guy, Malachi Corey, little Debo Samuel. Probably two of the people I'm becoming the most bullish on in the rookie class right now. Ricky Pearsall and Malachi Corley. I find myself staring at them and drafting them basically every single draft. It's just how early do I pick them. Absolutely love them. So looking at some other picks. By the way, someone help me understand. I feel like a lot of these running back picks, I just don't really get. I don't really get the upside. They seem to be like they could fill in, but what's their upside? Wouldn't you rather have like a Will Shipley or even like a Dylan Laub than what you get with Madison or Bigsby or especially Zeke? I mean, a lot of these are auto picks, I would assume, but the reason, this is going back to the reason I like Gibbs, is I never feel boxed out. I need to solve RB2 with one or two picks. Basically 2 picks the rest of the draft, and I can be free to take a lot of these much better picks later on. So I'm sure a lot of these are auto picks, but just really, I hate almost every single one of these running backs in this entire brick on the left from rounds 9 through 16. So, interesting though. Ben Sinot's probably he's gonna be back a little bit later on. Let's play a little bit of an ADP game here. Kind of on the clock. Need to make it pick a little bit faster. Probably Devontae Walker or Will Shipley. I'm going to take Tez Walker. I'm not super high on Tez Walker though personally. But I just want I don't need all these running backs. I just need a couple. I would be fine with if I can get Shipley, I'm happy. I guess honestly that he is kind of the name that I'm looking for here. Is there any other? I mean, Jaleel McLaughlin is kind of interesting. I actually like him a little bit. But there are so few other running backs I like in general. Looking over at wide receiver, anybody standing out to me? Not really. Compared to the rookies, not really. It's worth mentioning, I do like Josh Palmer. I like Josh Palmer. I like Wan'Dale Robinson. I think he's gotten kind of unfairly buried. I loved what I saw on him at the end of the year. I think the farther he gets away from his injury, the more he's going to do some nice things. Let's go ahead and take Will Shipley here and basically be done at running back. Maybe we're going 25 rounds, so we have some later RBs that I don't hate when we're going all the way down. Back on the clock here, I think when we're this late, we're kind of relying on our queue as opposed to ADP quite a bit. I think Javon Baker is just better than Jalen McMillan as a prospect. But we're going to play ADP and just take Jalen McMillan. Really hope I can still get Javon Baker. Looking at, it's been a while since someone has taken tight end. I think just if someone clicks the button, I mean, what are they going to see? I guess Juwan Johnson is not terrible. Okay, Bell goes. Yeah, we have to take Ben pretty soon. I think some sharp people are going to be on him. Yeah, like Zaragoza is clearly. I think I've drafted with him a few times. He tends to snipe me a lot because I like the way he thinks, and Garendo is a nice pick there. So we're gonna have to be careful about the my guy snipes. We'll see if we get lucky. I don't think we're gonna wait too much longer. Yeah, I mean, again, just nasty snipe with Javon Baker there. I can appreciate it though. That's pretty nice. I don't think we're going to take the risk anymore. I think we're going to take Ben Snott. And then we're going to hope we can get Johnny Wilson, Dylan Laub. Again, let's look at the rookies from a flex standpoint. Ray Davis still in here. Isaiah Davis look okay. Okay, our guys are still here for sure. We're just going to take Johnny Wilson over Dylan because of the upside. And of these other... Yeah, well, we're almost going pure rookie at this point. But I don't think we should limit ourselves to it. We should just take a quick peek. See if there's some value, some post-type sleeper type of guys here. A lot of auto picks. So we're going to have to go down the board a little bit. Almost all auto pick. Okay, everyone's pretty much done. I don't know, I think this part of the draft's kind of interesting to me. Yeah, there goes Mike and Zorko. I guess we're all gonna snipe each other. Yeah, because that Jermaine Burton, that was quite nice. Flex rookie only. Yeah, I mean we're kind of in that rookie only territory, right? Any QBs here worth mentioning? Sam Darnold's kind of interesting. It's just a late round dart throw. I mean, maybe something happens there. I'm a little past it personally. These running backs have any sort of runway to them? Not really. I've been hearing a little bit about Kamani Vidal, that he's got something in him. Back on the clock. Let's take a quick peek at the rookies. Vidal is really one of the only ones there. Thrash is okay too. What else could we be looking at? 10 seconds. We'll snap Kamani Vidal otherwise. Yeah, we're going to run out of time otherwise. $25 rounds going real deep. Are there any forgotten gems that could come out, perform nicely, and I could trade for like a third? At this point, I'm just looking for... Yeah, I mean, again, this when you're drafting sharp, these late rounds, if you're drafting in a real sharp lobby with less auto picks, are going to be much more different. Love Theo Johnson pick there, too. That's real nice. So we're wrapping it up here. We'll make a random pick or something. What's our favorite rookie here? No one I've really scouted. Maybe we'll take some crazy shot at Joe Milton. Okay, can throw the ball 2 billion yards. Maybe we'll take a shot there.
Come on.
I honestly don't really know who Cade Stover is. I just know in full tight end premium, I'm going to take a shot. And then we'll finish with Joe Milton. All right, so how we do. Spicy picks and decisions. Richardson. Let's go through the roster here. At quarterback, I've got Anthony Richardson, Jaden Daniels, Tua Tagovailoa, Will Levis. Technically, Milton there. I'm just going to basically list off the main people. So sorry to last 5 round guys. At running back, hero RB build with Jahmyr Gibbs in the second, and then Trey Benson, Braylon Allen, 2 of the rookies. Slight at running back. RB4, Will Shipley. RB5, Dylan Laub. I think it's Loeb. So we've got some rookie upside, probably become nothing, but we got our hero RB, so we don't need to solve too many problems there. At wide receiver, again, 2 wide receiver, triple flex, full tight end premium league, just so you know. So we're starting 2. We only have to start 2, though. Roma Dunes, Jordan Addison, Jaden Reed. And then some upside guys on the bench, Rookie Fever, Keon Coleman, Ricky Pearsall, Roman Wilson, Malachi Corley, Des Walker, Jalen McMillan, big old Johnny Wilson. Very typical draft board for me with kind of, 5 to 6 of my favorite upside rookie wide receivers. This will change in a super sharp draft and also post landing spots once people are a little more studied as well, for sure. I know Pearsall will skyrocket up boards. I think Corley will skyrocket up boards. Johnny Wilson, depending on an interesting landing spot, could really spike up quite a bit. Who knows? How do we feel about the draft in some tough decisions? Just real quick, Hero RB. I spoke about it in other videos, so I won't go into it too much, but I don't hate it. I should explore doing some other things, but as of right now, based on how much I think there's this chasm at running back where people realize that the RB like 5 through 15 I think are being overvalued. Or maybe like RB like 7 through are being overvalued for what I think they are and how old they are and how old they're getting. And so I wouldn't necessarily be looking to like trade Gibbs. I think his value is fantastic right now. But what I'm saying is if I have to go solve RB, I think I'm overpaying for it right now. And so even though you can solve your problems through the trade market, I think people are running into this kind of everyone's a committee back, all these middling running backs you can't sell for nothing because it's just a trade market fiasco. And where I'm saying is if you can have a hero RB build, I am liking what it feels like in order to win value in trades and having less work to do. So justifying Gibbs the 204 there. Jaden Daniels over Trevor Lawrence in the third. Similar logic to Richardson over Burrow. I love me some rushing quarterback upside, and it doesn't hurt when I already think they are good passers of the football. I liked what I saw from Jaden Daniels, and I've been scouting him fairly heavily recently because I'm seriously considering him in some spots as the higher upside pick to Caleb Williams in one quarterback dynasty formats. I wouldn't really do that, but I would consider basically a trade where I would take Caleb in that situation, but then look to parlay and trade for Daniels plus and feel pretty good about it. Tua in the fourth could have gone other directions, passed on guys like Drake London and Bowers in particular we were considering. Don't hate it, though. I think if Tua in that offense does what it did in the early part of last season, and I think it can and probably will, especially with the home run screen balls to Devin Achane. I think Devin Achane will take more balls to the house from screen passes like, Austin Eckler, Christian McCaffrey-esque than he does from just taking handoffs and things like that. I think that could really boost Tua's numbers a little bit. He's still a risky pick, but I do like him quite a bit here just in terms of he's falling a little bit farther than I think he should. In full tight end premium, though, I will say Bowers is a great pick at the 5.2. I think Bowers is a more talented tight end prospect than Trey McBride, than Dalton Kincaid, and Sam Laporta. Great landing spot. Trey McBride was the only target in Arizona, and Kincaid obviously through the moon over in Buffalo. But honestly, if it comes down to talent, if Bowers goes to the Chargers or the Jets, I think he's going to eat in an already established offense with good quarterback play. I think all of a sudden he's going to leap. He could leap McBride and Kincaid like very easily, or be like on par with them at a slightly later pick. So decisions at Tua. Maybe I'll regret it a little bit. Maybe not. O'Dunes, Addison, Reed. Kind of take your pick here. O'Dunes was kind of a clear pick for me here. I think he's more talented than these other wide receivers from a draft profile. And I love that he's a true X who will see every snap his rookie year. Jordan Addison versus Pickens. Close. I just think Jordan Addison is a little bit more talented, and I am not as down on Minnesota's offense with the change of quarterback than I think people think. So I'm going to buy the dip to some extent. Jordan Reed on the way back. Is he the wide receiver one for Green Bay? I'm not sure, but I do know he's no worse than the wide receiver 2 or 1B on a good young offense with continuity with a head coach I trust to make some things happen. And they're in the NFC North, which could quickly become, if the Bears' offense gets lethal, Detroit's offense is already lethal. And the Vikings, Jordan Addison, I hear they've got a pretty good wide receiver one, right? They have 3 amazing weapons and now a great running back. All of a sudden, the NFC North could be a bunch of shootouts. And so grabbing another person in the NFC North, not terrible. Love to see a shootout between Addison and Reed. This is like a best ball stack situation here. Will Levis, just good value for me. I'm rising on him. I love to take him where I got him because I rank him higher than most. Got my guy in Ferguson, I think, is being a little criminally underrated. Benson's going later than he will post-draft. Freiermuth, Ferguson are kind of my favorite. I got so many of my favorites this draft, even while getting sniped. So overall, felt pretty good. I went super heavy quarterback, but still didn't have a problem at wide receiver, and I like who I got. Hero RB means I could take better picks later on without having to reach for RBs I don't want. And I wasn't great at tight end. I'm going to have a disadvantage with just Ferguson, Freiermuth, and hopefully Ben becomes something. But I'm going to seriously lose some points at the position to some other tight end rooms. Hopefully the rest of my roster rounds that out relatively well. I thought it was a pretty good draft. I think my rounds, getting the wide receivers I got from round 12 to 19 are super sharp. I think pretty clearly we won our draft in rounds 12 through 19. We need, maybe 2 of these guys to hit in a big way, 3 to hit in a medium way compared to look at there's so much running back being drafted here, and we took the best players for sure, in my opinion. Loving what happened there. Great draft. Let me know what you think. Maybe I'll do a little breakdown going over some of the tough decisions, but I think we've kind of already covered it here a little bit, and I'll see you guys next time.